I often hear people say that making money is not easy, but if you think about it, you realize that a lot of things in this world are not so easy to do, or good things usually they say are hard to come by. But if you believe that making more money is difficult, I'm not sure you want to try poverty, because you might not be alive to even tell your story. So there are two ways by which you can increase your income. The first one is when you have multiple sources of income, and the second one is when you are able to reduce your expenses. Now in today's video, which is the part 1 of the Making Money series, I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 ways by which you can cut your expenses so you can make more money. Let's get started. Thanks for watching, guys, and welcome to the Management Desk once again. My name is Godfrey, a qualified ACC accountant, a freelance business management consultant, and an entrepreneur. If you're new here, consider subscribing, because on this channel, we're providing you with relevant and practical financial information that will help reshape your personal finances and also take your small business to the next level. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. As you would agree with me, expenses will always be a part of our lives. So long as we continue to live, okay, one expense or the other. Buying food, buying clothes, buying that. I mean, they will always be a part of our lives. But the danger here is if you're not careful to manage your expenses enough, you realize that the expenses would deny you of an enjoyable life. It is no wonder that, in the words of Benjamin Franklin, he rightly said that we should beware of little expenses, because a small leak will sink a great ship. So, not to do it in any particular order, the first on the list I'm talking to you about is to keep track of your expenses. It is often said that what is measured, or whatever gets measured, gets managed and monitored well. So obviously your expenses more can be likened to a baby in the house or a toddler. If you really take your eye off that toddler, you know that in the next minute that toddler is going to disappear. That's how money works. So it's always appropriate that you monitor, or you keep an eye on your money. The reason being that when you do that, you are able to see how much you're actually spending and the items that are actually eating your money. Another good thing about it is that you're able to know how much or the quantum of money you spend on a particular item, and then you can do your cost benefit analysis and see whether you're getting value for it or not. So a simple way I do it is to just ask myself a few questions. After the day's work, how much did I even spend in a day? What was it on? Was it really worth the cash I spent? So that I can eliminate every expenditure that is not adding value to me. Right, hope you got that. The second one, which is closely linked with the tracking of expenses, is to do a budget. So before you spend, what you have to do is to do a listing of all your expected income as well as all your expected expenditure. The good thing about doing a budget is that you are able to know, okay, which items are more weightier in terms of your money or your allocation. In fact, a budget helps you to prioritize, so that, I mean, depending on the kind of goal you have, you can allocate more money towards achieving your goal that will add value to your life instead. Another thing is that a budget will also give you an idea of how much you are expecting or how much you're going to get, so that you don't overspend. Sometimes the danger is that because you don't know, you don't keep track of all your expenses, or you don't have a budget, you keep spending, and before you realize, you go into debt. Once you have an idea of how much you're going to earn, and you can actually tweak your expenses to match your expected income. That way you're able to cut out some of them that are non-essentials and go for the essential ones to help you. So the third one we're going to talk about is the institution of a 24-hour rule. And this rule basically says that before you buy anything, you decide that, okay, well, I'm going to give myself 24 hours to think about it and find out whether is actually important, or I really need this item before you spend. There are two dimensions to the 24-hour rule. The first one is, okay, well, for every amount I'll spend in excess of, let's say, $100, I'll need to think about it for 24 hours before I make that purchase. The other aspect of it is that you set yourself a target. So maybe for every $300 I will spend, I'll need to give myself 24 hours to think about it and find out whether I actually need the item before you go on to purchase. This helps you give yourself a second thought of every item and goes through scrutiny so you can make purchases that are valuable to you. In a way, it helps you prevent the act of impulse buying, which usually eats your money. The fourth thing we're going to talk about is shopping with a list. Yes, that's one of the main ways by which you can cut down your expenses, because then whatever you list should be something you actually need. Otherwise, you find yourself in a shop and then you are only picking items. You go and you pay for them. Trust me, things will always appeal to you. Things will always attract you. But is it everything that attracts you or appeal to you that is worth the buy? Certainly not. So you want to help yourself by going for shopping each time with a list and try and do some sort of estimation of how much you're even going to spend on every particular item. That helps you eliminate every non-essential or unwanted item, and also helps you control your purchases within that particular listing of items that you have. All right, so the fifth thing we're going to talk about on the list is instituting an envelope or allocation system. Yes, so for those of you hearing it for the first time, an allocation or an envelope system is where you decide that, okay, for all the expenses that I would incur, you'd have an envelope or separate envelopes, and then you have the name or the particular expenditure written at the back of each envelope, and then you also go on to put in some cash, or you allocate some money in there. What happens is that when you exhaust one particular envelope, it tells you that you're out of money for that particular item. And that also helps you to know which items you normally spend more on. You can also do your cost-benefit analysis to see if that particular item is even worth the buy. The temptation is that if you do all the payments through your main account, you might overspend without even realizing it. So we'll also give you an idea of what exactly you're spending your money on so that you can cut down your expenses. I hope you find this information useful. Kindly like and share this video and subscribe. Also make sure that you hit that notification bell if you haven't done so, so that whenever we post any content, you're one of the first people to watch. Thanks for watching, and see you in my next video as I talk about the ways by which you can increase your income.